right, so here recently, I was like, the Terry Rozier trade happened, and they asked him what's the difference between Miami and Charlotte, and basically he said they got losing in their DNA. And this also comes after the Heat done lost a couple with him as well and stuff. And so I was perusing, and I feel like that hit a lot of people in a way that I'm like, why should that hit you that way? Like they were saying, like, you a part of it, you're a loser. You should have changed it. You can't be a leader and then also talk junk about the fact that this coach is a loser and all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, but we've been losing before him, and we gonna probably be doing the same after him. But I'm like, there's different factors in what can make a losing culture, and one man can only really change so much if the rest of everything isn't willing to change. Uh, I was like, and sometimes that just hounds on you as well. That maybe you trying to do your best and you're trying to come out of it, and you just end up succumbing to your environment. I was like, this is the thing of everything, but I was like, you can only be, I guess, as you can only control what you can control. So maybe you're like, oh, okay, cool. Everybody else around me don't give a damn. I'm gonna give a damn. But that the way that they're like, oh, you over here jacking up shots and taking control of the offense, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, if none of y'all give a damn, then that means I got to be a one man band. If you think about it, I was like that part, that small part, I was like, it's no different than the Kobe mentality, where it's like all these dudes aren't that great. Nobody wants to seem to help or pick up their game. Fine, I'll just take all the damn shots I got to. And to be honest, who on Charlotte has really out, Bridges has improved, but I think he's probably gone. PJ Washington, I think he's I was like, I think he's now plateaued where we sort of know what kind of player, but he probably gone. LaMelo was hurt quite a bit, but we could see the flashes of him. I was like, Brandon Miller been a bright spot this year, but that's this year. That doesn't count for all the other years. And it's been a bunch of draft picks that ain't hit. Gordon Hayward was a big money play that did not hit. So it's like the team around you is bad, and you also got to think like Scary Terry came from Boston where they were winning, and really I was like, and the whole thing with like Kyrie Irving been there and Gordon Hayward when the youngsters sort of took over, that sort of created a spot where it's like, all right, cool. I don't mind if I get out of here and shine. Young player, that's what you're supposed to do. So that's the trade with him. But he came from a spot that was from winning. Like they was in the playoffs. They, no matter what. So then to come to Charlotte, where it's like, okay, y'all roster construction doesn't seem like nothing. Yeah, it's like if it's like, okay, I'm the star player at first. Okay, cool. What are y'all doing to build around me? Really nothing. Okay, because it's like Batum leaves, and then you get Gordon Hayward. You pretty much just did the same damn thing. And he played with Hayward up in Boston too, so there's no telling how like that was. But then to see him, get worse as time goes on, then I'm like, then you keep making picks at the top spot at the same spot that Terry plays. Where it be, I was like, you still have Malik Monk, you have Book Knight. I was like, we got Nick Smith Jr. now. So I'm like, at every point, you're just putting people with me in a way that's like LaMelo was actually something different than what Terry Rozier was. So the roster construction is bad. The drafting is bad. I was like, you don't know whether you want veterans on the team or you want to have a thing of youngsters. Uh, so that was like that's that weird mix. And it's not like you can't have veterans on your team, but the veterans is a young Rozier who's still trying to be somebody in this league, and Gordon Hayward who is like he should be on a team that's more trying to win, but he's not, and so he's just hogging up money, hogging up a spot, and not contributing. Then you have the arrangement of coaches from Baragno. We brought Clifford ass back. That was dumb. I'm like, I'd rather you just get somebody young again and then, than to get Clifford back. Um, yeah, so I'm like, the arrangement of coaches or the coaches that didn't come. I was like, we've done kept the same. I was like, well, I was like, there've been two. You had Cho, and then you went to Kupchak. So there's been a couple there, and I'm just trying to talk about this in general of the Hornets since the Hornets been here. And then go to the top of Michael Jordan, of an owner that seemed like it'd be good, but it's not. He's like Jerry Jones without the actual roster construction. Uh, the drafting of players bad. The picking of coaches is bad. Uh, yeah, so I'm like, really, I was like, Terry Rozier just known losing while being with the Hornets when he didn't know that beforehand. So therefore, you can't even say that. And also too, the Heat, whether they're on a losing streak, whether they're in the 10th seed, whether they're like number 4, whether they're number 7, they always seem to find a way into the playoff. They always seem to find a way to win. They always seem to find a way to do stuff. I was like everybody's freaking out now because they're losing, and they're not even in the playoffs right now. And I'm like, neither were they last year, and they got to the finals. I was like, the year before that was a down year for them, and then the year before that they was in the finals. So, and then I'm like, you look at the Heat when they didn't have no star, with like Dion Waiters, Hassan Whiteside, those months were still winning. Yes, I was like, were they at the top? No. But were they in the bottom? No. They always found a way to pretty much be in the playoff, have a chance of winning, get out a chance. I was like, and the thing is like, most people will say like, there's really no chance. Like, you're in that middle section, you don't really have a chance. You're playing. You need to be like you need to be close to the top or to the bottom or whatever like that. And they're always in the middle. But yet at the same time, they're the one few team that's like, if you give us a shot, then we go into the like playoffs, and we're going deep in the playoffs. And that's why I'm like, that's the culture of losing. Also, with that is that you see good ways of culture of losing when you're like trying to lose to like, when you're losing and you just can't get nothing, or the losing and it adds to something. The 76ers, I don't care what you say, that process or whatever, I was like, that's cool on a video game. I don't know about in real life. There's like, we got Ben Simmons and we got Embiid and I'm like, yeah, sort of, but I'm like, you never got the number 1 pick. So you didn't, it's not like you put yourself in position to get that that traditional star generational talent. You really didn't. Embiid fell to you. I'm like, and you think about most of their stuff, the top guys of those years fell to them. Whether you want to say Jahlil Okafor or Noel, like Nerlens Noel, Michael Carter, I was like, all these people fell to him that were sort of like top in the draft due to injury. So your process didn't really do anything. And I'm like, you're lucky on the people that you sort of got, because you could have got some of these other people that would have just probably flamed out. Like, you're lucky Embiid worked as he did, because Embiid was like, if things go right, he'd be what he is now. But there's no telling how that could have been. It was very choppy. That was not a good plan. But at the same time, something that did work, and I was like, you could say like, there are more, it's like plan sort of work. I was like, until it didn't. The Oklahoma City plan, that has worked in all aspects, like 3 different times. And so from that angle, it's like, yeah, they're losing, but there's development, there's winning, there's something where people are seeing like, man, if they, I'm like, they're almost there. They could just get a couple. Like, oh man, that almost worked. That works. What? Oh, that's why I'm like, there is a culture of losing. Because the Hornets is none of those things. The Hornets is something where you can look like, maybe years from now, sure, I'll like Cupcheck goes and Clifford goes, because I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a pretty much clean slate. But we're not looked at as like Oklahoma City, where something's going on. I was like, we sort of could have been almost like the Timberwolves, but LaMelo keeps getting hurt. But there's also there's no secondary star at it right now. We're hoping that Brandon Miller and Mark Williams turn into something. And Bridges sort of effed up that development at the same time. But where I was like, we're not even really the 76ers in a way, because I'm like, because we were doing too much veteran and all while also trying to do young players. So I'm like, we're not even the 76ers, but I'm like, but we're like the 76ers when they were like Pooh all those years. Like, we're not, like, we at least was like exciting. At least one of the like the first year, second year of LaMelo, and then now it's just sort of been like Hornets. Who are they? Where are they? What? They're over there. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even know they was in the East. If it wasn't for the Pistons, we probably be looked at the same way. I'm not gonna lie. So that's why when Rozier said that comment and everybody bashed him, I'm like, he's not wrong. I was like, you can only do so much as a player when it's in all levels of incompetency. It's in all levels of bad. You can only do so much. And, I was like, if you just want to bash him because, he left or whatever, he talking junk on your squad, fine. If that's what you're doing. But if you're serious that it's like that, I'm like, think about how it is at most of y'all workplaces. Your boss bad, then there it follows where it's like that person got too much of a control problem. That person is and that person that. Whatever. That might be how it is at the Hornets. And at the Heat, you do know that there's a structure. You got your coach. You got your main guy up top. And even old people around them. It's like this. There's at least a guideline of things. So, Terry Rozier, you're right. There is a culture of losing. Hopefully, they start doing a clean slate where, like I said, the only people that are like safe is Mamelo, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams. Everybody else can get up out the paint or be packaged up to get something else or something like that about the paint. Those are only three. So maybe now we can start having our DNA change. Anyway, that's some Hornets talk for you. Well, yeah, more Hornets talk about another time. I'm out.